Hello, hockey fans, and welcome to this week's Winners and Losers. A look at the standings, and there's been major changes once again. Let's start with the Eastern Conference. Philadelphia went from fourth place to first place with a 6-2-2. Losers of their last game. Buffalo went from sixth place to second place in the last 3 weeks with a 6-4-0 record, losers of their last game. And Florida, the surprise of the East, went from eighth place to third place with a 5-2-3 record. They've won their last game. Pittsburgh went from first place to fourth. And tonight, Sidney Crosby comes back to the lineup, and I made a video on that. Just click on the link that should appear next to you, and you can go see it, or wait till after this video is over. That's even better. They've lost their last two with a record of 5-4-1 in their last 10. Toronto has been struggling. They went from second place to fifth place with a record of 4-5-1 in their last 10. Losers of the last game last night. The Rangers, again, they went from fifth to fourth and are back down to sixth now, but they have a record of 7-2-1 in their last 10. They lost their last game. And Boston continues to improve. They went from 15th place 3 weeks ago and are now in seventh, winners of their last game with an 8-2-0 record. Ottawa had dropped down all the way to 10th last week, are back up into the playoff contention in 8th place at 4-4-2. Then Washington went all the way from third place 3 weeks ago to second place last week and dropped to ninth, losers of their last three. They were 3-6-1 over their last 10, not doing well at all. New Jersey, same position they were in, winners of their last two. Montreal jumped up to 11th place from 12th, winners of their last game. Tampa went from 7th place 3 weeks ago to 12th, their 500 record, lost their last game. Winnipeg has been improving. They've won their last three. They're in the same position, though, with 5-3-2 over their last 10 games. Carolina went from 11th to 14th. They're not doing well, although they won their last game, but they're 3-7-0 in their last 10. And the Islanders went from 14th to 15th with a record of 2-5-3, losers of their last game. So that's it for the Eastern Conference. And now for the Western Conference. Minnesota is playing so well. They went from fourth to first with an 8-2-0 record, winners of their last four games. Chicago went from second place to first. They're back down to second with a 5-4-1, losers of two, and a really bad one in Edmonton to boot. San Jose went from seventh place to third place in the last 3 weeks with a 7-2-1 record, winners of their last three. Nashville in sixth place, dropped to eighth, are back up to fourth with a 6-1-3 record, losers of the last game. Phoenix went from fifth place up down to sixth, back up to the fifth with a 7-2-1 record, winners of their last game. Detroit went from 11th to 5th, was a great jump, but they've dropped a spot to 6th, and they're 5-3-1, winners of their last two. Los Angeles lost their last game, but increased, went from 8th, dropped to ninth, and are now up to 7th position with a 4-5-1 record, losers. St. Louis was 14th and has now jumped all the way up to 8th in 3 weeks and have a record of 5-3-2, losers of their last game. Edmonton, who was all the way up in the standings, went from third place, dropped all the way down to ninth with a 500 record over their last 10, winners of their last game, although that was very impressive against Chicago. Dallas went from first place to 10th with a 4-6-0 record, losers of their last five. I don't know what happened there. Vancouver, still in 11th place. They haven't made any progress at all, winners of their last game. Colorado went from 9th to 12th. They're getting worse with a 2-7-1 in their last 10 games, losers of their last one. Calgary went from 12th, dropped to 13th, 500 record, 5-5 over their last 10, although they won their last game. Anaheim, they dropped a spot with a 1-6-3 record, losers of their last four, and Columbus remains in the basement, although they won their last game. But they are 3-6-1 over their last 10 and are not looking like they're ever going to get out of the basement. So that's it for the Western Conference. Like I said, there's been a lot of movement. Teams are getting better. Things are stabilizing. As we are going over the quarter point of the season, this is what you want to look at every 4 every 20, 21 games or so, you want to see where these teams line up. So now we're going to start. So now we're starting the second quarter up to the halfway point of the season, and let's see what happens then. Until next time.